To start off saying, like, first and foremost, that I love being a black person, being a black man. I love the skin, my own skin color, and I'm very, confident and prideful with that.
Inspire change, inspire true change. We can't turn a blind eye anymore. We've done that for decades, yeah, and it hasn't resulted in anything. Welcome guys to our second video on this channel. I know we haven't uploaded in a while, but we have a pretty serious topic to discuss today. I have two of our members here with me today. Again, my name is Steven Ugba. I'm the VP of the Women and Young Adults. Right to my right, I have
Victor Aranu
and Justice Lucas.
Okay, so today we're going to be discussing the BLM movement. So that's the Black Lives Matters movement, and the police brutality and just the oppression that's just been going on really for years and decades, but is really just coming to light, during this period. And we feel like, it's important for us to come, especially as black men in Winnipeg, Canada, to, just share our experiences, just to, better inform and just to create more awareness than there is right now. I guess I'll start off with a question, how are you guys' experiences as black men in Winnipeg?
I'd say first and foremost, just life as a black man, as a black person, black woman, is hard in general. I remember moving here. My earliest experience of racism was when my family was going on this trip to Calgary, and instead of just driving or flying there or whatever, we decided to take a Greyhound bus. So my dad paid for these tickets. We had our seats and everything. So we got there, we sat in the bus. The bus driver was like, "Nah, you guys can't sit there." It was, as corny as it sounds, it was pretty much like a classic Rosa Parks moment. So he's like, "Yeah, you guys gotta go to these seats in the back, blah, 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 blah. You can't sit here." And obviously my dad being the strong personality that he is, he wouldn't budge, which is good. He stood his ground. He's like, "No, I paid for these seats, so I'm gonna sit here." So long story short, the bus driver called the police. At the time, we didn't face any police brutality or anything. We were actually treated quite nicely by the officers. But it just clicked in my head at that moment when I was a kid, why is he asking us to go to the back? We paid for the seats. It's not like we just came up in the bus and started messing stuff up and nah, it's just a family of 5, paid for seats, we're sitting in the seats, so what's the issue? So that was my earliest experience of racism, and realizing then, I think I was maybe 8 or 9 at the time. That's when I realized being a black person is different from being a white person, or you know what I mean? So yeah.
And guys, again, I've never heard this story from Victor before. So again, that just goes to show that it does happen here. I know we in Canada just say try to pretend it doesn't happen here, but racism is here too.
Yeah, racism is very prevalent in Winnipeg. In all of Canada as a whole, there are several other instances I can go into, but it's pretty much the same message. People think it's not a very huge issue here, but it definitely is. So I'm part of the states concerning not just black people, but also indigenous people as well. There's a lot of hardship that they have to go through that is swept under the rug. It's not really presented accurately in the media. So I think life as a black person, as an indigenous person, as a person of color, is just hard in general than if you were someone that, exactly, than if you were white. So yeah, the privilege and the non-privilege it's definitely there in Canada.
So what about you, Justice?
I just wanted to start off saying, first and foremost, that I love being a black person, being a black man. I love the skin, my own skin color, and I'm very, confident and prideful with that. And I think we all should be proud of our black skin. But definitely being a black man in Winnipeg has definitely been tough, especially growing up in a rougher neighborhood. There's always been gangs, violence, drugs, all that kind of stuff, just outside. So adding that with being a young black man, it's definitely difficult. People look at me differently. People, assume things, assume that I'm a thug, or that kind of stuff, and you can just tell by the way they look at you, assume you're stealing, this and that. So it's just definitely been tough because I've dealt with racism within school, within work, in the everyday world, microaggressions by friends, by coworkers, all that kind of stuff. And so those things, like, it adds up for black people. Like, it adds up on us, and it piles up, and like there's only a certain amount of things we can take, and not just black people, actually, like indigenous people, a lot of minorities experience a lot of racism, and that stuff just kind of adds up. But there's only so much we can take. But yeah, just being a black man, it's definitely been a tough experience, but I'm only kind of realizing now as I get older that, like, I should be proudful in this struggle that I've been through, and I should take pride in it, and because like this is my struggle, this is our struggle as black men, and we should, because we can overcome this. At the end of the day, we will overcome this, but it starts off with kind of learning who we are, learning where we're from, and kind of loving ourselves as black people.
Yeah. And for me, my experience is like it's a little bit different than this guy's, because they were here at like a younger age, and Justice was born here. I just moved here to Canada like 10 years ago now, in 2010, when I was 15. So I didn't grow up with the same facing like prejudice or like microaggressions, but I did notice a difference, especially when I moved over here, like trying to fit in school. First off, it just goes to say that back in Nigeria, we spoke English and we spoke it perfectly fine, but I found myself again when I started school here. I found myself trying to be something I'm not, because back home we put this part of like North America on a pedestal. Like, everything's good here. Yeah, the opportunities are better here, but the culture isn't better than what we had back home, and that's what I failed to realize at that age. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to speak with a different accent, made me stumble over my words quite a fair bit, which was unlike me, because I spoke perfectly fine English, but I also wasn't used or realized the weight that the N-word carried at the time. I didn't realize, I thought it was just a cool word to say it, because like I saw it in the movies. Even my sister would say that she got called the N-word. Like, she'd tell me about the story. She got called the N-word like some point in like, I think, grade 8 or grade 9, but she didn't even know what it meant at the time. So just having that happen, and then like now when we're grown up, and then we hanging out with more people that look like us, talk like us, from like our background, we start to realize like, hey, like, man, that was not okay, what was going on at the time. But we didn't take it as anything, because we never experienced something like that, but again, just goes to show that it does happen here. And I guess what I've learned from that situation, if I was to give myself again write a letter to my younger self, is to again embrace who you are, be proud of your individuality, be proud of your culture, be proud of your your heritage, all that, and don't try to be something else than you're not. Like, if you're loud naturally, I wouldn't say be obnoxious or whatever, but that's who you are. You don't have to change for anybody else. So I guess that's what I had to say on that. I guess the next thing we can say is, what can we do better to inspire change in our society?
To inspire change, I mean, there are several things you could do. First and foremost, I will say, you don't need to automatically become like a civil rights activist. No one's expecting you to like drop everything you're doing, quit your job, and like go outside and start like protesting and holding up signs. Like, nobody expects you to do that. If you as an individual feel like that's the best way to make change, and I mean, like, by all means, go ahead and do that. But no one is trying to like force or pressuring you into doing something you don't want to do. At the end of the day, like, you just need basic human decency. You just need to understand that, like, if you're seeing these things every day, and like you're seeing the injustices that minorities face, black people, indigenous people face on a daily basis, if you're seeing that and you're not feeling disturbed about it, you're not feeling, you know, like some kind of way about it, then I think that that's a problem. Because anybody with compassion, anybody who has the ability to sympathize with the minorities, would understand like this is wrong. But I feel like the only reason that, you know, this discussion, this situation is even still being like argued to this day is because there are individuals out there who don't think that this is wrong. You know what I mean? So if everybody can understand, you know, that this isn't a normal thing, like this isn't even supposed to be happening, then I think that that would be the first step. And how to do that, like I said, like you would just need to want to have to change. Like the change would have to start internally, and then people would be able to see it externally, and then you know, change is it's like a domino effect. You know, like if you are able to change your way of thinking and educate yourself and everything, there's no way you're not going to impact one individual in your life. You know what I mean? Like there's no way that knowledge that you've learned is not going to be passed on to somebody else. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you just need to, it just needs to be genuine. You know, you need to want to make a difference. You need to understand this is wrong. If you're a person that's not colored, if you're a white person, you need to understand that, yeah, you know, you do have privilege that, you know, these minority groups are not getting. You know, you do have a certain advantage in life because you can go anywhere in the world as a white man and no one's gonna hate you for being white, you know. But you can go anywhere in the world as a black man and everybody is gonna hate you. Like there's gonna be one or a group of people that are gonna hate you for just being black, and that's not normal. So as white people, you need to understand, you know, you have that advantage. You have you know, a voice you can use to speak up if you feel the need to do so. Now that being said, as I said before, that doesn't mean, you know, I'm expecting you to go out there and start protesting or donating, you know, every dollar you earn on your paycheck towards you know, Black Lives Matter movements or anything like that. But just educate yourself. If you feel the need to do any of that, by all means go ahead and do that. It just needs to be genuine, is all I'm saying. So yeah.
So me, how I think people can make changes is educating themselves. Like you can't really make change on a topic you don't know about.
Exactly.
So I think we as Black people and everybody else need to learn more about ourselves, learn more about our history. There's multiple resources. Like if you just take a simple Google internet search, but I think we'll add some stuff at the end, some links that could provide you with some information. But I think, yeah, like just learning about the topics at hand: police brutality, mass incarceration, injustices that are happening to Black people, Indigenous people, every different types of minorities. Learning about those topics, like Victor said, just having simple human decency will make you want to change that, will make you want to fix these problems that we have in the world. So like you can't make no change if you don't know what's going on, if you don't know that these are happening, or if you do know that it's happening but you just don't know anything about it. Go learn about it. Like it's free to, you know, research things. It's free to get an education about these kind of things on the internet. So yeah, try and put yourself in a position where you know what you're fighting for, because that's, I think, one of the biggest ways to make a change. You don't gotta be out there protesting 24 hours a day, you know, Black Lives Matter this, you know, like obviously that's good, like if you wanted to do that, but you know, you gotta know what you want to fight for. You gotta know what you feel is right, and that's one of the things I think we all should do as people to make a change.
And I guess for me, I'd say that, you know, because I've had questions from like people that are not minorities, like white people, asking like, so what do I say in this situation? They are comfortable with it, and you know that's okay, because they feel like if they say anything, they're down if they do, they're down if they don't. You know, because on Twitter, some people have gone attacked because, you know, they said, oh, BLM, or like, you know, they put a fist up. But, you know, people are challenging them on their grounds, like, are they actually doing the actions to inspire change? And, you know, that's okay, because if you actually put in the work, then you're okay to have that conversation. And that's what you, as someone who is privileged, should be willing to do. Have that uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah.
You know? So again, in whatever way, like they've talked about like all the resources, the education you can put in to, know all about it, but you need to start from first your immediate like surroundings, your family, your home, or your parents like prejudging people based on their color, making assumptions on them, writing them off because of their color. You know what I'm saying? You have to start there. If your mom or dad are doing such things, you'd be like, hey mom, hey dad, this is not okay. You know what I'm saying? It's not okay to judge someone based on their skin color. Because imagine if that was happening to you. Again, just like Victor said, it just comes down to basic human decency.
Yeah.
Treat others like the way you want to be treated. So again, be comfortable with having uncomfortable conversations, as weird as that sounds. In whatever situation you are, try the best you can. Once you recognize someone getting treated based on anything other than your merit or based on your skin color, it's hard, yes. It takes courage, yes. But that's what we're going to be willing to do for us to inspire change, inspire true change. We can't turn a blind eye anymore. We've done that for decades, and it hasn't resulted in anything. In fact, we're still in the same exact situation, as sad as that sounds. So just, again, it can be uncomfortable, but you need to realize this certain people, like say today they're here, but you don't know where they could be in the future. They could be a medical doctor. They could be a nurse. You know what I'm saying? Like Justice is gonna be graduating soon with his nursing degree, and he's gonna be the healthcare field, and he's been one of the persons that's just been ahead of like, hey, this happens in the healthcare field. So imagine if you were in a situation where someone else has prejudgments of you because of your skin color, and they literally have your life in their hands. You can draw conclusions of how that situation is going to boil down to. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to have that situation where people literally with lives in their hands are misinformed, ignorant, just because they didn't know no better. It's just they don't choose to, learn. They don't choose to empathize with other people. You know what I'm saying? So this has to start from your immediate surroundings, and then we can go to like, the large scale effect of that. But that's got to start from you. Okay? So if your groups are making jokes, you have to be the one to be like, no, that's not okay. You know what I'm saying? If they're making jokes about indigenous people, making jokes about women, if you're in a guys group, that's not okay. That's got to stop. And if they're not willing to change, if they're not paying heed to your advice, then you need to separate yourself from that group. And it's okay to call them out. Yeah, it's your friends. But if you truly love them, you would have that conversation with them. Like, hey, this is not okay. And there has to be a zero tolerance for it. It's not, hey, he's just kidding around. No. We're not in that stage anymore. That is totally unacceptable. And for us, for you black youth out there, just like me, I've stated how, and they've stated how at that age, when we're younger, we fail to realize like when we're in a situation where, hey, we're trying to fit in, yes, but we're accepting, microaggressions, like inappropriate jokes that should not be made at all. Just because we're trying to be friends, it's like, no, you don't need to be friends with someone that's, attacking you, who has a lack of respect for you. You know what I'm saying? You're not any less of a man or a woman or a human being for that matter, just because of your skin color, just because you're darker than them, just because your hair is more curly. That's not okay. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be prideful of where you come from. Be proud of your heritage. Be proud of your individuality. And if you can't get that from your friends of other descent that you're immediate to, then you need to go find people that look like you, that encourage your individuality, that, lets you be who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing that I didn't have at that age. I was trying to fit in with white people at the time. It's like, no, I need to hang out with people that accept me for who I am, who I can be loud with, because I'm not like an obnoxious person, but I like to, express myself. And that's what our culture promotes, So you're proud of who you are. Be proud of your individuality. I've already stated that. Want to know where you're from. Ask your parents questions. You know what I'm saying? And hey, one by one, all that, whole microaggression, all that jokes is gonna get cut down. Because soon enough, those people that are making those jokes of you, having a lack of respect for you, they're gonna notice that you're the cool person because you don't change for regardless of your situation. And that's what I try to learn as a person, because sometimes I'd be like, oh, this person should act this way, this person should act that way. It's like, no, let them be who they are, as far as they're a decent person, they're a decent human being. If they're acting like out of like character or doing something bad, like, okay, then I'll go in and be like, hey, that's not okay. But if they're just acting like they are, let them be who they are. Okay. So, again, guys, we're gonna add links to the bottom of this, resources for you to go learn more about this situation at hand. Links to go donate as well. And hey, if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. I will be on there trying to answer as many questions as I can. Share this video. It is imperative that we get this message out. Okay? It is imperative that people acknowledge, if they're not the ones getting oppressed, they acknowledge their privilege. You know what I'm saying? And they take steps to at least empathize with the people that are getting oppressed, heed to their call, and so they're equipped to, when they see a situation like that, to be able to be on the right side and not just be an ignorant blindsider. Because if you just turn a blind eye to it, you are part of the problem, believe it or not. Okay? Do you guys have anything else to add?
Do you want to go ahead? I think adding on is like, we should also just like, it's kind of just basically what Steven said, like, we should be proud of who we are as people. If you're black, be proud of it. If you're indigenous, be proud of it. If you're any type of minority, just be proud of who you are. You don't have to kind of change yourself to fit into the North American, kind of beauty standard or North American like person. Just be who you are, and that's all that matters. And I encourage all my black brothers and sisters to be proud of who you are. Be proud of your hair, your skin color, our lips, our noses, whatever it may be. That's what makes us beautiful people. These traits, these characteristics, that's what make us black, and that's what make us black and proud. So that's all I can say to everyone out there.
What about you, Victor?
Yeah, like these two said, for all the black people, all the indigenous people out there, all the minorities out there, just continue to be proud of your heritage, continue to be proud of your culture. For people who are, I guess I would say, part of the problem, again, it really just boils down to human decency. I mean, like, there's no way you can turn the news on and see all these people, dying every day, solely just because of the color of their skin, and not feel disturbed about it. You know what I mean? So just boils down to being genuine, just boils down to having compassion, wanting to see change, wanting the best for your black friends, cousins, all the people of color that you know out there. It really just boils down to that. So when we can do that, and when we can understand that, everybody, regardless of the color of your skin or whatever, is equal, then that's when we'll be able to see real change. Yeah.
Okay. Again, thank you guys for watching this video. Again, it's a very pressing topic at hand. So again, share this video, comment, like, subscribe. We'll be doing our best to put out more videos such as this and other videos promoting our culture and individuality, as I've said before.
Yeah.
So again, thank you guys for having us. Right, guys?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys, and till next time, guys.